It's going.
You good? All right, thank you so much. It is 6 o'clock. I will call the meeting to order. Clerk, could you call a roll, please?
Angie Wolf.
Here.
Cindy Biting.
Here.
Mary Beth Schultz.
Here.
James Cartman. Barb Stotts.
Here.
Matt Carl.
I do have proof of posting. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Thank you both. It was a little stall there. Any changes or questions? Not seen any, Mike?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
James? Matt?
Yes, sorry,
You are
I
here.
did have a cup of coffee.
And Barb?
Yes.
And also yes as well, thank you. No public input, so then moving on to district business 3.1, we will take these separate. Do I have a motion to approve a donation of $3,600 to the district for supplies from the Maisomania Lions Club?
Oh, geez.
Oh, he's right on top of it now, I gotta get in there quicker. You heard him, yeah. Just a very big thank you, just a great donation for us to have the supplies that we need. Anything else? All right, Mike?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
James? Matt?
Yes.
And Barb?
Yes.
And I'll say yes too. Then 3.2, we just want to acknowledge another donation that we received from the Knights of Columbus. We received $142.66 to the Special Education Department. So thank you so much, Knights. All right, and we don't need action for that. All right, move on to number 4. Do I have a motion to approve 4.1 and 4.2?
I move to approve 4-1 and 4-2.
Yeah, I'll second.
We got a second.
No,
You're way slow.
I'm way slow. I've not had my coffee yet.
Were there any changes anyone saw? Hearing none, Mike?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
James? Matt?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
And I'll say yes as well. All right, we are up to Mike.
Hey everybody,
Hello.
I'm Venture Project Manager of Performance Services, your design builder. I did go to a Packer game, so my voice is a little
It's
too bad. Screaming and crying.
Lots of emotions.
I did that for my living room.
I think everybody did that for
Yeah.
their.
High and middle school renovations, we're in the warranty period and the optimization period. Unfortunately, we had our performance assurance personnel that was supposed to do the training, we had that scheduled for a couple weeks ago. He was a close contact, so we had to reschedule and push it here to this Wednesday, but we got it scheduled this Wednesday, and in that meeting, that's where we kind of do more of a transfer to Bill of the system and set up alarms and go through all this stuff within the detail, so that's the plan. Unfortunately, yeah, the last couple weeks since our last meeting on last Wednesday, one of the colder days of the year, we had the boilers not operating for about 45 minutes, and the temperature dropped pretty good in the school, so we got them back online, and we still don't know the root cause of that, but we think we might have to do it. It was one of the first days that the backup boiler had to kick on, the fourth boiler that's older, and that all went on and operated and stuff, but we're not sure. Then when it got hot enough, that kicked off, and the main boilers were just supposed to keep going. Something in that transfer just didn't happen. We simulated that like a month ago or so, a few times, and it all worked. So the point is, we got cold days coming up tomorrow, Wednesday. We're going to look pretty closely at that sequence as it happens, you know, as that backup boiler kicks on, and that whole process. So. And when we set up these alarms too, we'll be able to set up some alarms that go directly to Bill with some emails right away as the temperature starts to drop. So that'll be good too. Try to kind of follow up to that and try to make sure it doesn't happen again as much as possible. So sorry again for that.
Yeah. Coldness happens.
Situation. On the elementary school edition, we have steel erection going on still, and the metal framing, the structure, like we said, and kind of projected in the last few meetings, is that's starting to take place. You've seen, I think you guys saw pretty quickly most of the steel go up, like the main structural steel throughout the whole kind of building. And as I mentioned before, now we've kind of been more refocused on that south half of kind of detailing everything out with the steel, the roof decking, and all the welded connections and everything, because as you've also seen, and you'll see in these photos, we got the metal framer started to do the exterior, so we can enclose portions of the building, do temporary heat, so then we can do the mechanical, electrical, plumbing guts, because they require at least 55 to 60 degree temps. They can't just be in this cold weather to do that, to keep the sequence going.
We're not as tough as those framers.
Yeah. So you can scroll through the pictures if you're in the bed to kind of see some of that. This is the roof decking I'm talking about, kind of on that south half all getting done, so that we can start to put roofing down, and then the exterior walls to do the exteriors to enclose it to get that temporary heating going. And then as you kind of go across, you can see more of that decking done across the plane. And the structural steel done, like you've seen before, you keep scrolling. And then you can see in this picture, you start to see that our exterior framing is going on, kind of our south half in the first segment, with the sheathing board that gets it ready for the exterior brick, the air and vapor barrier and exterior brick happening next here. And then it's just kind of showing the whole building. But here you can see the focus thing I'm talking about on the south half, kind of getting that going. We've got the whole south kind of elevation framed. Openings done, sheathed, getting ready for masonry. So now we're starting to talk to the mason about getting him started here in the next week or so. And for weather, we've actually got them set up to temp heat their scaffolding, so we'll set up their scaffolding, tent it, and temp heat it, so hopefully the weather won't affect them as much for some of these temperature issues. And then we're working on getting the roofer out there. The problem with the roofer is he doesn't have his logistically efficient options as like a mason for the temporary heating to actually place his product regardless of the weather. So what we've done to date though is try to get different products that handle the weather better, similar products that are in the assembly. But he requires at least 20 degrees to place some of those products. So that's what we're running into. It doesn't necessarily have to be every single day because there's other parts of the assembly where those temp requirements may not be required. But unfortunately, as we were starting to get him to do the gym roof and we get into these temps and pretty much consistently for quite a time period, it's been below 25 degrees, and there's just not been a day in sight to kind of get him out here and start going and, kind of working into this situation. So,
Yes, sadly, we live in Wisconsin.
yeah. So we are looking at still trying to get him out here maybe the end of this week, because last week it started to show 30 degrees and then showed the next week kicking up to 25 to 30 degrees the following week.
You can keep that.
Heat wave, for sure 25 to 30 degrees, so that's what we're working on now, but it's a little weather dependent. But hopefully that following week it really kicks up, we start to get some, just at least a few days, doesn't have to be every day, start getting some days where it's above that temp range and we can get out and get him out here and get him, proceeding to get that area, all these areas are closing, but tend to start him at the gym. We gotta get that area done, so then we can start doing the insides there and then to that south half and on segments around the building.
It's starting to actually look like a building.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just so
It's always a
exciting.
positive.
Yeah, right, we're actually doing something instead of just, walking around.
And then we're doing all our quality control process with our guys too, just for reference. I mean, as we keep building this up, we're walking, checking window openings, checking the locations, the layout, the products being used and all that stuff. Coordinating with each trade as we do that, and it's just consistent dialogue.
Great, any questions?
The bottom picture there, what you're looking at, on this far side down here, there will be an entrance. This is the back side of the middle school. There will be an entrance over there. And then 5th grade classroom on this back side. And then working our way down. 3 sections of 5th grade, a special needs classroom, a flex classroom for 4 or 5, a small group instruction, like collaborative space, a doorway, and then a 4th grade room at the end of the hall. So for that part, that's kind of the most visual piece, that's what you see. And then where you can see the raised roof lines here, music. Gonna have those clear story windows with the natural light, and then art are the two specials. Kitchen, and then the gym. So just so visually you can kind of understand where it is and what it is.
Yeah, thanks. And then for the exteriors, like I was saying, and I think you guys have seen some of the renderings of elevations before, but that lower level brick is pretty similar to the rest of the campus with a little bit of different accents around the windows, but pretty much the same there. And then that upper area, that's the art and music, actually is metal panel exterior finish, if you've ever seen those. We just selected a green color that was closest to your school color. And as the gym tilt up, will also be painted green, kind of similar to your school color for the higher areas there.
Very cool. Very nice.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mike. Any other questions for Mike?
No, I think we're good.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have a great
Nice seeing
night.
you.
See you. Thanks.
All right. Then, moving on
Thanks.
to 6.1, our school operations. I believe we are going to just see if there's any questions at this time. Everybody was provided with the information. Does anyone have any questions at this time? All right. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Keep us posted.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for getting that together. All right, so then we will move on to employee relations. Do I have a motion to approve an addendum to the employee handbook for the sick leave bank and a temporary COVID leave addition?
I just want to say that I'm glad that this is being given to our staff because, and especially with childcare coverage, because obviously, you know, that to me is probably the hardest thing to find, you know, especially if you're a teacher and then you have to try to find, you know, childcare coverage. So I really appreciate the fact that we're, you know, really trying to help our staff and our employees with kind of all aspects of their, you know, their life, not just school life, but, you know, outside of school as well. So I will definitely make a motion to approve that.
Yeah, I think that, you know, as we keep continuing down this, this pandemic path, we're realizing how much it's affecting
Right.
everybody and in every aspect, so. Anything else on there?
So they have to use all of their sick time before they're eligible for this now? So there's no COVID leave for teachers that have been there for a long time, and they have a lot of sick days built up. If they get sick, they just kind of have to burn their own sick days or whatnot?
Correct, and I mean, in those situations, admittedly, this isn't a provision that unless they have incredibly bad luck, is really going to apply to them. I mean, because as you said, most people that have been employed for quite some time have a lot of days built up. This ends up being your typically younger staff members or newer to the district staff members who, whether it's the result of taking leave previously, maybe for the birth of a child, or being newer to the district and having built up a lot of days, now find themselves in quarantine for whatever reason, and they're the ones that are running out of sick time. So it's really in those situations to try to avoid people having to get into that unpaid territory. And a month ago, we weren't really where we are right now, but things have picked up so much in the last month. Admittedly, things have changed. And it's just trying to provide an extra cushion, if you will, for staff members who find themselves in that position of being near or at no remaining time off. Because that's obviously a bad situation for them when you get to the unpaid time.
And if a staff member is out, but they can teach virtually, they don't have to use time?
Correct, and our principals have tried to be as flexible as possible. That works in some situations, that doesn't work in others for a variety of reasons, whether it's the nature of the content or just the children and their age and what they can handle.
Right.
So the principals have tried to be flexible as much as possible and to the greatest extent possible. And that has worked in some cases, and in other cases, it's not feasible.
Other questions? Seeing none, Mike?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Bart?
Yes.
And I'll say yes as well. All right, district business personnel. Do I have a motion to approve the 22-23 contracts for administrators pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 118.24?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
big transition for us, as you just saw, the building is getting done at some point. So, thank you to those that are changing, we're excited, to see the transitions and see where they kind of go from here. So. Any other questions? Seeing none, Mike?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Bart?
Yes.
And I'll say yes as well. One that we do each year, do I have a motion to approve the 22-23 open enrollment caps for regular and special ed students?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you both. Any questions on these? Just an annual thing. All right, Mike?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Bart?
Yes.
And I'll say yes as well. Phew. That's a record, isn't it? 16 minutes?
Don't jinx it.
Right. All right, so future meeting dates are set.
So I'm actually not gonna be available for February 14th. So this
Okay.
next board meeting, I will not be
Okay,
available.
okay.
You know?
And we'll be zooming, so we'll still be good enough people, so
Okay.
good to know. You just didn't want to come in on Valentine's Day, right?
I'm gonna be in Florida on Valentine's Day, and I should be eating dinner at that time.
I suppose we'll let you
I know, right? It's probably the only time I'm gonna get my husband to take me out for Valentine's Day, so I
Right.
figured, I'm gonna take advantage of this when I can, it's an every 20-year kind of thing.
Right, all right. Well, clerk, can you call a roll as we adjourn to executive session?
Can I?
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I wanted to say something, about attending the conference.
Oh, yes.
Since it
I was
went by
gonna-
so fast, I thought maybe it'd be nice to just
I was looking
talk
for
about something.
the president piece, and I was like, and I was gonna actually talk about that, and then I didn't see it, so yes,
The
thank
first
you.
meeting of the month.
I know,
Yeah.
I just,
But yeah, so Jordan, Cindy, and I attended the state school board convention. And I really encourage at least go once in your tenure, because it really just is a great way to kind of broaden your headspace and kind of refocus to the job that we're all committed to, and collaborating and meeting new people and board members and educators from other districts, and attending presentations where these professionals and people from other districts are so eager to share their successes with everybody, because it's really a shared goal in trying to provide the best that we can for kids. And I think this year of anything, it was just humbling in hearing from everybody, and obviously the shared challenges and the struggles. But at the end of the day, walking away just being so appreciative of the admin team that we have, and the way that our staff has persevered, and the way we've really, even being on this board, you guys hearing the stories of some of these districts that have gotten so out of control and politically divisive, and these people that are just, you can just see it in their faces, they've got so far away from being kid focused and achievement, and it's really horrible in places. And so I think that on a number of occasions, we just looked at each other and we were just so happy, and granted, not happy with the way things are, nobody's satisfied with, some of the daily reminders of just trying to survive, but at the base of it, like, we have a lot to be proud of here, and it definitely, kudos to the admin team, and down to the staff and everybody, but it just makes me really proud to be a part of our school community, and to see what we've done this year, and really, again, putting a place on other people's struggles, and the perspective on what we have here, and some really good things to take away from it.
absolutely. I'll just add to that, on my drive home, I was really kind of reflecting on it and reflecting on where we were and where we are now. And I think it really rejuvenated me as well, in just, hearing the stories, really thinking back of where we've been, where other boards have been, and where we are now. And it just kind of gave me excitement of things that, are to come, and to try and refocus, I think, as well, of getting back to the kids and really thinking of what are we here for. And some great presentations. I know Barb and I, we were gonna sit and chat together, and we'll be doing that soon, and collaborating a few of our notes, because we got a few good things coming for Jordan's way. But yeah, absolutely echo all that Barb said. It was just a really great time, so.
And I think in hearing that, you know, people, that waited to go to referendum, and then attempted last year and thinking what we may have, that it might have been better than 2020, but it was not. And in a lot of situations, having a failed referendum multiple times, or having to go back to the community and ask for $1 million more because the construction was out of hand and they couldn't afford it. Or, you know, a lot of places still don't offer virtual schooling when kids are on quarantine or out, or the school's closing constantly because of, you know, so there really is just a lot of things that should make us proud about the way we've been able to maintain our focus on kids and keeping the doors open and trying to do the best we can under the circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah, humbling.
It was very affirming.
Yeah.
And you feel bad for other people too, because you feel bad for their communities, you feel bad for their kids, because
Yeah.
their kids are just like our kids, just in a different community. And not that this is Pollyanna, but to hear some of the stories of things going on, and we half jokingly, half serious, looked at each other how many times, like, could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
As someone else talked about the situation, and to Barb's point about the referendum, that is a point that I want to make sure is not lost in this brief conversation. Is, you remember sitting in this room, and it was probably one of the most difficult decisions as board members you've ever had to make, and it ended up as a 4-3 vote. But to your credit, after the vote was done, we moved on as a district and did the best we could. We ended up being successful with that referendum, and it's going to do great things for this district for decades. The districts that waited until April, even the ones that passed, there's many of them that haven't even been able to start construction yet because they're 30 to 40% over budget. So imagine being 30 to 40% over budget and the sick feeling that, I mean, I can't even imagine. We're hoping for warmer days so we can put the roof on. They're magically trying to find more money because they can't.
And we were worried about the steel not coming in on time, but yet, you know, we had everything else, and, yeah, they're just sitting in limbo.
I heard from one board that they passed their referendum by 6 votes. And, you know, talk about close calls and, you know, the fear of that, and, you know, just really goes to show the community we have, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we don't show up on YouTube with, you know, everybody watching the fights that break out and whatnot. So just kind of crazy. I can't even imagine.
Speaking of that, I actually attended one of the sessions, and there was a lawyer that was giving them kind of talking about kind of procedure of boards and like the board meetings, and some of the boards have definitely gotten out of hand, and they've been challenged a lot. And you know, we have had, you know, we certainly have had more people come in, which is great because we want the people, but you know, some of the boards have really struggled with that. And that really goes to your point of that they've completely lost the focus of all the kids that they're working for, and so I'm very fortunate of our board. Yeah, it's good. Great. Alrighty. Then I will adjourn to executive session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85, hearing 1, hearing C. Considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. And 19.85, parent 1, parent E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business, whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. When the executive session ends, the school board meeting is adjourned. If you could please call the roll.
Angie Wolf.
Here.
Cindy Biting.
Here.
Mary Beth Strall. James Carpin. Barb Stotts.
Yes.
Matt
All right, thank you. We'll just take a brief moment.